Hey, what's up? What's happening? Um, I'm still dealing with a slow laptop at the minute, so there's still no music. But when it comes back on, hopefully we'll put some on. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about so many subjects that I want to talk about. I've got a list of things, but the list keeps growing with things that I see online and questions I want to answer and things that people are putting out there, and I'm just like, oh, there's just so much, not enough time. I've not made a video for a few days, so this is probably going to be like a longer video, because I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to do longer videos and shorter ones, because I know not everyone's got the time to sit and watch me ramble on for 20-25 minutes, half an hour, however long it might be. So I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to do a few shorter ones, a few longer ones, and do a few shorts as well, just to mix it up a little bit. But today is going to be a bit a longer one. And what is it going to talk about? So I've got two subjects that I'm toying with. So higher self, intuition. How do you know it's your higher self or intuition talking to you? Right, this is going to be a deep one. We're going to deep dive for this one. So go and make yourself a cuppa. Go and get the kettle on. You might need to get your tea on as well. Because it could be a long video of this one, but we'll see where it goes. So I've seen a few posts on Telegram, on Facebook, on Instagram about the higher self, about intuition, and about deciphering the difference between the two. And this kind of this comes into your abilities a little bit. So I am going to do some videos on tuning into your abilities a little bit further. So maybe I should do that first. No, we'll discuss this first, and then I'll do them things after. So how do you know the difference between your intuition, higher self, whatever you want to call it? It's basically the same thing. Let's talk about the split of what the intuition and the higher self is first. We'll talk about that first. So your intuition and your higher self are both connected. They're both basically the same thing. Your intuition is kind of your gut feeling. You get a feeling from within your energy body, and it comes out into your physical, and you will feel things, and you'll be like, ooh, not sure about that. Oh yeah, I really need to do that. Feel really good about that. That's a really good decision that I'm making. And so that's kind of like a lot of the stuff that comes from within. We feel it within our intuition. So our higher self, it's on a different frequency to us. It's on a higher frequency to us, and it's up there in the spirit realm. Your higher self. So your higher self, what is it basically? Your higher self is every aspect of you. So however many lives you've lived, hundreds, thousands, millions, however many times you've reincarnated, then your higher self will have all this knowledge that you've accumulated and acquired over all these lifetimes, and all this lifetime experience comes into the now. So whatever you need to question, whatever you're going through, whatever you're experiencing, you can ask your higher self, because it will have an answer from an aspect or a fragment of your life wherever you may be. You can also exist in different dimensions not just this one, but you will be existing in different dimensions, different polarities, and your higher self is also connected to them. So there's all this information coming. So it's kind of like think of it as like the cloud. You know, the cloud on Apple or whatever. Think of it as the cloud, and you've got all this information that's up there being stored. And when you need to tap into it, you just tune into it. How do you tune into it? Well, nice of you to ask that question. How do you tune into it? Well, you need to kind of go within. You need to go deep down. And we say, well, what do we mean by go within? So you go into meditation. You quieten your mind. You become still. And it takes a long time to achieve that stillness from within. And even the best meditators, even the best, they will still have difficulties at time. and to come deep within that present moment, to connect to those messages that they need to receive. But when it's kind of like, it's the same with connecting to spirit. It's a bit like tuning a radio, and you have to just be on that right frequency. Plus, you also have to be on the right vibration. So your vibration needs to be quite high to be able to connect to this this voice from from within, your higher self. So then your higher self can it can meet this connection, and once this radio signal's tuned in to the right point, then it will give you the information that you need. But then if it's the same as the spirit world, then how do you know it's your higher self and not somebody else speaking to you? Well, that's very interesting. So this is where it comes down to your innate abilities, your discernment, your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, your clairsentience, your claircognizance. Using all these in unison as like a bundle, as a package within you, you'll be able to put all these together and process the information from within, because you too are spirit. You too are, although you're here in this physical being, this physical meat suit, your spirit from within is connecting to what you truly are. And it's exactly the same as when you go into a shop, or you go into a situation, or you go somewhere, maybe a pub or a bar, and there's people around, and you get this feeling that like something's going to kick off any minute in here. There's just a feeling within the air. It's exactly the same when you're tuning into your higher self and tuning into the spirit realm. And when you tune into that, you just know it's a claircognizance thing. It's like I say, it's this full package, this full bundle of information that you get. You just know deep within that that's message from your higher self, and it's a connection to you. If it was something other than that, then again you will get a feeling. You will be like, that doesn't really feel right. That doesn't resonate with me. And then again, it's about using this key of this understanding and discernment, and ego, and trying to place them in the correct polarities of each other that they need to be. It can take time, and it can take practice. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort this bloody thing out. It can take time, and it can take practice to discover that when we go deeper within. And a lot of this discernment, the balancing of the discernment and the ego comes from a lot of inner work, shadow work, self-discovery, inner discovery. And when you start to let a lot of this stuff go, then a lot more light comes within you, and you're more able to access and seek the information that you need. So it still sounds kind of cryptic, doesn't it? I'm trying to put it into simpler, easier terms to understand. Sometimes when we have discussions with ourselves, we will hear a voice. You will have this background dialogue going on constantly, and your higher self and your spirit guides and your spirit team that work around you are all on the same frequency, and they're always there to help and connect. So your higher self technically is a guide. It is a guide. It's your inner guidance. It's actually your outer guidance, because your inner guidance is your intuition. So your outer guidance, as well as your spiritual team. So when you've got this internal dialogue going on, you've got all these thoughts, whatever may be going on, and you hear these thoughts and these things in your voice. And so it's all subjective. It's like kind of like within. So the majority of your abilities will be within. It will be your clairvoyance. A lot of it will be in. You very rarely see stuff objectively. So out. Sometimes you will. You might see orbs. You might see shadows. You might, sometimes you will see them and you will be aware of them. But a lot of the time it will be in. It'll be a feeling. It'll be very subjective. be a feeling that somebody's near, or there's a presence near, or whatever, you know. So again, it's this feeling thing. Like when you go into a bar and you feel as something's about to kick off, you will just feel it, and you will know, like you will just tune into that energy and be like, this doesn't feel right in here. There's gonna be a fracas between whoever or whatever. So it's tuning into that innate ability that we have within us, and getting back to these voices. So you've got this internal dialogue going on, these thoughts, and sometimes the thoughts can just be like overwhelming, overpowering, and it just be going on and on and on and on. And that's like, for me, that's what I had when I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. It was just constant. It was like a whirlpool, and when I go to bed on a night, it would just start, and it would just escalate. It would be the smallest of things, like, I don't know, putting my bin out the next morning, but the smallest of things would escalate into a massive outcome that would be the worst thing for me. It would be absolutely horrendous, but that's kind of like how it operates sometimes. And again, this is like trying to file everything away that needs to be filed away properly. And if it's not filed away, like we do within Reiki, right, like you do within a lot of meditation and subconscious work, if you don't file stuff away properly and put it into the places it needs to be, it all gets jumbled up. Then it all starts talking to each other, and none of it makes sense. And that's what happens when you get into these sort of mixed places and misunderstandings and not knowings and depression, anxiety, worrying mind, all that sort of stuff. So it's working on that level. But when you come to a place of acceptance and healing and inner discovery, and you start going on this path of spirituality, of understanding, of knowing, of wanting to seek more, and wondering how to connect to your spirit team, your spirit guides, your higher self, your intuition, all this sort of stuff, and then you start working out your clairaudience. And my clairaudience lately has been really picking up quite a lot, but it's still very quiet, and I have to really kind of like tune in as much as I can. So this is where I want to go in future videos with regards to this development and how it helped me develop. So when you put a question out there, you might have a question in your head, and you want to ask your higher self, right, what do I need to do about whatever it may be? Just come into your centered space, come into your quiet in your mind, go into your meditation, go as deep as you can into your meditation. And the thoughts may come, thoughts may go, and then all of a sudden there'll be some words that will pop in that will be in your voice, but it will be the answer to the question that you're seeking. And that is your higher self. That is your higher self speaking to you. Or it could be one of your spirit team or your guides. But like I say, they're all on the same frequency. They're all on the same parallel. They're all around you all the time. They're not there to kind of touch. They're just around. So it's tuning into that frequency. And then, like I say, it's that discernment and using. So if you get a really positive feeling, if you get like just annoying, and this sometimes it's a really deep loving feeling, or it's a gentle touch, or it's a tingling, it's like a warm breeze, or sometimes it can be a cool breeze just to know that they're around, then that's an indication. Again, we also have to understand and learn about what these feelings can be when our spiritual team is around us, and what we can feel. So that's something else I'm going to incorporate into another video as well. But yeah, that's some of the things you can feel and you can experience when they are present. This tingling, this touch, the breezes, and again this voice. And more often than not, it's like I said, it's subjective. So it's within. It's not objective. If it's objective, then it's somebody within the room that is around you, and you're hearing them objectively. Something happened on many years ago when my awakening journey began, and I was dealing with all this depression, anxiety, and stuff, and I had my little dog at the time. I had a little black staffy called Missy, and so she used to sleep on the bed with me because she was quite small, but she was like a lead weight when she laid on the bed. And I had like a little, in back then, because I didn't have much. I didn't have much furniture or anything like that. So my TV was in the bedroom. I had a little 14-inch portable TV, and that was my TV that I watched. And it had one of them Ring aerials. That was how I started. I managed to get myself a bed. So at least I had that, and I didn't have a lot of furniture downstairs, but I was building myself up because I was making the home for me, for myself and my little dog. So yeah, it was quite a lonely, quiet place. But there was one night, probably around about the witching hours, so around about between, I think it was about 4 o'clock. No, it was before then because I phoned my mum because I was scared. So it was probably about 3:15 in the morning. This is a long time ago, so I'm trying to recall it, remember it. But I was laid in bed, and then my little TV turned itself on. I thought, well, that's strange. So I thought, oh, I must have rolled over and knocked the remote and turned the TV on. Anyway, the remote was on my little bedside chest of drawers next to me. So I thought, oh, that's strange. So I knocked the TV off. Put it down, never thought any more about it, put my head back down. And then the TV turned itself on again and woke me up again. I was like, what is going on? This is really, really weird. And then was when I objectively heard from outside my bedroom mine and my brother's name being called. It was almost like a spiritual replay of my mother or someone calling us down for tea. So it was like Ian, John's my brother's name, by the way. And yeah, I was just like, this is like really weird. So I kind of like put my head back under the duvet, and I turned the TV off and I put my head back under the duvet, and I thought, you just your imagination, you've just woke up, you're just hearing things. So then the TV turned itself back on again, and I'm just like, this is just like getting crazy now. And obviously when you're on your own, I mean, the dog wasn't really bothered at all. She was just laid there. But when you're on your own, you're a bit like, this is strange. So I put the TV back off again. Then I heard it again, and that was it. Right, okay, I know I'm hearing this now, and it was the same, Ian, John. So I phoned my mum up. By this time it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and it took because she was in a different house in town, so I had to ring her up, and I was like, Mum, I've just heard mine and John's name called. And she was like, oh, don't be silly, it's just your imagination, you're just making it all up. And I was like, no, honestly, I'm hearing it. And she was like, oh, it's probably somebody outside. I said, well, my light's just gone off because my laptop's gone off. I said, it's not somebody outside. I said, because I've looked out the window and there's nobody there. And she was like, well, it might be somebody out the back. So let me just put this back on again. Oh, we're having a right old shambles here, aren't we? This is probably because I'm talking about what happened. So I'll just close these off because they're getting on my wick in the corner of my eye. So she said, oh, it's just probably just somebody outside. I was like, well, it's not. So anyway, that was it. I was wide awake after being woken up 3 times by this voice, and so that was objective. That was outside of me. Whereas now, subjectively, I'm hearing stuff within, and it's messages. Usually, it's through healing sessions, and it's messages that I'm thinking, right? And I'm asking, is there a message for such and such that I need to pass on? And again, that's the key, is to ask, because it won't just come in thinking that you need to give that. You just ask that and put that out there. Anyway, that's me just rambling on about stuff. But yeah, so that's kind of, I hope I've explained that clearly enough for you to understand. But yeah, so there's you, that's you. There's your intuition, which is within you. And then there's your higher self, which is up here, which is outside of you. Plus there's your spiritual team that are all around you as well. That'll connect, and they'll all channel into you through your crown, through your different abilities, through your different senses, and give you the information that you need. So I hope that's explained it. I hope that's shed a little bit of light onto it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope this has been informative. Don't forget to give me a bing, and don't forget to comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and if I actually made sense. Okay, so much love to you all. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. See you on Saturday. Be there or be square.